We've had some substantial problems on here. More money, more profit than we thought. I think, oh, how on earth do we do that? Well, I want to give you some tips about scheduling and construction. This is a program of works. They live and breathe this document. Got my crew, going to jump over to cameras over here. Yeah, kind of tell you a little bit more about construction design. So you're able to tap into our team to do this kind of stuff if you haven't already. If you're doing your own sites, I want to give you some tips about scheduling and construction. How do you manage that time element of the site? Now, I have talked on previous videos about budgeting, talked about building the right team around you, the right construction team, upgrading your advisors over the years. And part of developing a site effectively is through process. Working with the right people, choosing the right people, building the right processes in place and the right team to deliver those processes so that you end up with the right product at the end, delivered, hopefully on time and on budget. And if it's not, at least it's going to improve in value if you've chosen some higher spec items, for example. On this one, we've gone a bit over budget because we've chosen very high spec stuff. And actually, we've gone 10% higher on the pricing. So we're going to make more money, more profit than we thought. And that overspecking has really helped in certain areas. So that was really, really exciting to see. Now, what I've got here, this is a program of works. We're in the final stages. So it's a lot shorter than it could have been. This would have been a several page document spanning time, months across the top. And as the months go along, each of the jobs happens, some of them in parallel. So where you have an overlap of jobs, that's different trades in. Each line would be a different trade. So this would be insulation, this is electrical, plumbing. This is the first floor on the top half. This is the ground floor on the bottom half. Planning every single trade, every single job throughout the project and how long that's going to take. If there's a knock-on effect, say all this insulation's gone on, well, what's knocking on that insulation? You'll be able to see the things that are tied to that. You can't do, for example, the vapor barrier until the insulation's nearly finished. You can't do the internal ceilings, for example, whatever, until other certain things are done. You can't do plastering until the wall's up. Pretty obvious stuff, but this is all important to kind of schedule the contractors that you're working with on site. Now, obviously, it's the main contractors on a bigger site. You have a main contractor. They manage most of this. They write this document. They live and breathe this document. Every monthly site meeting, sometimes the weekly meetings, we're looking at, are there any delays? Have we made up time? Because if this one little project here is delayed, the whole thing could be delayed. So you go, right, we've lost a week there. How do we make 1 week up on the rest of the program? And you're pulling little, like, we can shave a day off there. If we get an extra plasterer in, we can bring the plastering time down. If we can get another couple of electricians in here, and on this big one here, or we can shrink the time it takes to get the electrics done, and therefore everything else can back up so the end date is still the same. Now you can imagine when you're project planning, it's quite easy, I think, to make up time on certain areas. You think, oh, how on earth do we do that? Well, you look at 60 odd line items, which one of these could be sped up in some way by the increased manpower, more efficiency on site, more materials on site, but pre-buying the materials so they're on site ready. All these kind of tips and tricks you can use to squeeze up the timeline so that you end up being more on time. Now, I think on this site at the moment, we've given 4 week extension of time, which is really, really good. It is a delay, it's not perfect. We've had some substantial problems on here, things like the ground floor slab, we had extra drainage, we had all sorts of issues with the roof and fireproofing. The fire officers made us put an AOV, the building control fire officer has spec'd another AOV, an automatic opening vent, which I've talked about in another video. It's had to be put in at the last minute. They decided they want another one that they had missed on 15, 20 site visits. They hadn't mentioned it, and now they mention it right at the end where it costs us, works. We've got to damage apartments to cut stuff in and then repair it again. So these things get thrown at you through regulation, through a different building control officer that comes each time, and they all have different opinions. They all spot different things. And as much as you get everything in writing, it is very, very hard to legislate for all of the possibilities on a building site. And so that's why development is really about problem solving. It's about getting things fixed quickly. It's about incredibly well-planned work, well-budgeted work, having the right team to be able to try and make up time. And it all stems back to having the right contractor and the right people working with you on the team from day one. If you've got that and they're amenable to helping you make it up and helping themselves make it up, there's obviously some contractual obligations there as well. So if it is a fault of the construction firm, maybe they didn't order materials on time or they made a mistake, well, they've got to make that up. So they're doing this all the time, this push-pull on the timeline, trying to make stuff up where there's been a delay here, this didn't get delivered, substation didn't get connected on time, or the electricity meters didn't arrive, the roofing material ran out, the concrete price was so high they had to go and buy it from a different location up north. They had to go and buy wood because there was a wood shortage on this site, and wood went 400% at one point for a number of weeks on this site. Thankfully, we had bought most of our wood and got past that stage, and a lot of our stud walls were all metal stud anyway. There's still an awful lot of wood in this site. Anyway, I'm rambling on and shouting out random things at you, but ultimately, proper programming, choosing the right team in the first place will help you deliver a site on time and on budget. Martin and I are doing joint ventures with people out there that have either got a site they don't know how to develop, that would like help doing it, or indeed if you've got over £500,000 cash and would like us to go and find and source and do a site for you and with you, you can be more hands-off. We're open to those kind of things too. So yeah, reach out around the details around this video, and I'll hope to see you on another one very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.